Hey, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and you just heard San Francisco Bay Area flat-picking maestro Jim Nunally play on this brand new Martin D-28. And this is a very cool new guitar. It's the new, what Martin calls the refreshed version of the standard series D-28. And the refresh package is something that Martin is applying to their entire standard series. I also have the D-18 here, and we're going to look at that in a separate demo in the very near future. But I think it's a very cool idea, and it integrates a lot of design elements that have previously been found, say, in some vintage series guitars, even the golden era guitars that are now part of the standard series. Now, most of you are probably aware that Martin's been making D-28s for a long time, really since about the mid-30s, if we're talking about the 14 fret version of the D-28. And of course, a D-28 that was built in, say, 1935 and one that is built now is a very similar guitar, but there are also many differences. The most dramatic ones, of course, is pre-war D-28s would have had herringbone purfling, they would have had scallop bracing, Adirondack spruce tops, Brazilian rosewood back and sides. Over the years, some of those things changed. Adirondack spruce got replaced with Sitka spruce. The scallop bracing was replaced by straight bracing sometime in the mid to late 40s. Of course, Brazilian rosewood got changed to Indian rosewood in the 60s. All those things are just sort of the big picture examples of the tweaks that the guitar has received over the years. On a slightly more micro level, perhaps, even the standard series guitars, say, built in the last decade, have had changes made from year to year and from time to time. This year, I think it's sort of an effort on Martin's side to kind of streamline some of these different models and some of the features that have proven to be really popular. So the refreshed standard series guitars offers things such as golden era type top bracing. In this case, it's a forward shifted scalloped golden era bracing, which is not something you would have found on a standard series D-28 in previous times. Of course, the guitar is built with a Sitka spruce top and Indian rosewood back and sides. That's sort of been the formula for D-28s for quite a while. And if you just looked at the guitar, you might not immediately see some of these updates and tweaks to the design. But overall, I think it results in a very cool guitar that offers a great tonality. Both Jim and I were playing it earlier, and it's just the kind of guitar, you strum it and you go, that sounds like the way D-28 should sound. And it's kind of an immediate effect, and that's really a great thing. In terms of the other sort of little tweaks, the bracing I already mentioned is probably the most tonally significant update to this guitar. And I think it's really a big deal because this guitar to me sounds a lot more like a vintage series or golden era series D-28 than other recent standard series D-28s that I've had the chance to play or listen to. But the guitar also has a slightly thinner fingerboard with beveled edges really creates a very comfortable neck. The neck shape is a Martin calls it the golden era low oval. It's got a very slight hint of a V in there. Really feels a bit more like a contemporary neck than a big vintage neck. It is a nut width of 1 3/4 inches, so slightly wider than some earlier standard series D-28s, even though I think in recent years that has been the width on these. The diamond volute on this guitar is lengthened slightly behind the peg head, and that is just sort of a little bit more of a vintage correct kind of a design on this. The guitar has open-geared Grover tuners, and they also did some very subtle tweaks. For example, the nut on the guitar. It's just a little bit more of a fitted transition on there, and again, it's a little bit more vintage correct. And it is a bone nut and a bone saddle on these guitars. That is another update to these instruments. Another thing they took a look at was the shape of the heel, and this is the kind of thing that someone had to point this out to me. I wouldn't have noticed it right away, but when you look at it closely, it does have a more vintage correct shape of the heel. I don't know whether it affects the tone or the feel of the guitar really, but it is an example of sort of trying to move these standard standard series guitars closer to what you might have had to upgrade with a vintage series guitar in the past. Similarly, the bridge shape has been slightly updated. It changed slightly over the years, and this is supposed to be a more vintage correct shape on this. And the bridge pins on this guitar are bone bridge pins rather than the plastic pins that standard series guitars used to use. So you heard Jim play this guitar with a flat pick, and it's a very capable flat picking machine. Really has that open, big, huge D-28 rosewood dreadnought sound. But because of the scallop bracing on this, I find it to be also a lot more suited to slightly softer playing. Sometimes when I've played standard series D-28s in the recent past, I've kind of felt that they were better suited to kind of a heavy pick attack than, say, fingerstyle playing. Whereas with this, I can be quite satisfied playing this without a pick. Even if I'm playing it even softer than that. Very satisfying to play, and again, the slightly wider neck actually makes it more comfortable for playing fingerstyle on this. So overall, I think it's a very impressive guitar. Again, Jim and I were talking about how this guitar really offers a ton of value for the kind of sound you get, and you immediately get the sort of vintage D-28 vibe playing this and listening to it. And I think it's a very, very worthy update of the standard series. They might seem like small tweaks on paper, but really the result when you listen to the guitar and play it, it's very noticeable, and it's just a lovely guitar. So I think we should go back to Jim flat picking on the guitar a little bit more, so you can get a sense of what it sounds like in that kind of style. My name is Teja Gerken for Peghead Nation. If you are seeing this on YouTube, we'd love for you to come over to pegheadnation.com to check out our 70+ courses for not just guitar but many other stringed and fretted instruments, in addition to many, many gear demos, of course. So my name is Teja Gerken. Let's go out listening to some more of Jim Nunally.